Hey everyone, welcome to the PrepZone podcast here. I should say telecast, PrepZone cast actually. All right, as you see here, the girls are getting introduced. They're about to take the court here with the game against Westhill from the Junkyard. We've got a big night of basketball. The girls will tip off now at 6 p.m. Then we have the boys at 7 p.m. When they take the court, we will split screen here and get you guys to that game as well. As you can see here, we have on screen the standings as they in the FCX right now. We're making the push for the playoffs. 2 games left for the girls today and Monday at Ridgefield. So as you see there, they're currently sitting in the second spot. They have the tiebreaker over Trumbull. They beat Trumbull and they also beat St. Joseph at 10-3. So West Hill's at 2-15. So the girls should be able to take care of business at this game. And faced Ridgefield that last game. Ridgefield, as you see, 9-4. They should win today. They come in that game at 10-4. The record should be 12-2. So worst case scenario, they will finish in the third spot. But we probably, with a couple wins here, keep that second spot and have that game against, right now, as you see on top of the screen there, against Ward at home on the early game. So Belzer takes the tip here as Addie controls the ball and takes it up the court. We'll talk a little about the game, talk about their season so far, and what we can expect for them in the playoffs, in the FCX playoffs. 8-0 for 3 and just off the mark. But it's been a really good season. You look at from last year to this year, it's really been an incredible jump for the girls. I think from my standpoint of following, it really has to be about how much they are being able to close out games and really not panicking even when they go down for a little bit. You saw against St. Joe's, they were tight that game early on, but then after, I'd say about at the end of that first half, in the beginning of the third quarter, really took control and ended up winning the game rather easily towards the end there. So very good performance. Smith here passed the ball to Talbot for 3 and just a little bit off the mark, but slow start here for the girls. But again, this should be a game they will handle easily and move on to the Ridgefield game. Hopefully the weather will not impact the games. They are coming in on Monday, and they Talbot gets the first bucket here for the Wreckers. Supposed to get some snow. If that Monday game does get pushed out, you're probably looking at a Tuesday, Thursday instead of a Monday, Wednesday for next week. But hopefully that's not the case. The games get played on Monday. Then we have the doubleheader at home on Wednesday. Yeah, so looking here, if you're there, you want to call in, chime in, get some comments here. We'll be doing some giveaways towards the end of the first half here. And Talbot gets a couple more, so it's 4-0 Wreckers early on here in the first. And a quick timeout by Westhill to talk it over. But I don't think Westhill has even gotten in the paint so far this game. Wreckers really dominating here as you take a look at their responses early on here as we take a break. All right, quickly back at it. 4-0 Records early on in the first half, and you see Talbot there with another steal and bucket. And that has been great this season. I think she I saw somewhere, I think she's top 10 in the country or something like that in averages per steal. She's averaging north of 7 steals per game, which is incredible. And she's a sophomore. She played significant minutes last year, and she's part of this young core that, it's really looking good. The JV teams, one of the good things about basketball, you get to watch both games when you get to the gym. JV teams have been really great. They've had great success this year. And you do have some underclassmen that are really contributing as well to this year's team, and Addie is one of them. So it's been really, really good for them. And here's what Hill takes their first shot, and Harvey will get the rebound, and we got a jump ball call here. You see there the bench, Coach Sparks, Coach Bennett, Sarge, Coach O'Donohue was with us in the last game as well, and Coach DeForio too. So staff's been having some really good success this year with this team, and it's been really fun to watch. I mean, they are such a fun team to watch. They shoot the ball well. They do everything well, really, from any standpoint, as you watch this basketball team play. And here you are, as Westhill's moving the ball. And they get a bucket, 6-2. And that will bring it up for the Wreckers. Asia will hit a 3. Emma was great. I mean, last game, we talked to Marley after the game because Marley had a big game too. But Emma had 19 points on that win over St. Joe's. She was really hot from pretty much anywhere on the field. It was really fun to see. Especially, those buckets early on to keep that team on. And they're on the run again. And Harvey will just rim out, but Emma will miss that 3. This is the kind of game that all you're really looking for is for the Wreckers to, to just leave the game healthy, right? Which is should win, should take care of the business here, but it's really about staying healthy for the playoffs and staying in shape as well. So. Game shape, I meant. All right, coast to coast by Freya there. Good bucket. 11-2, out to 9-point lead early on, and that's what we're going to see a lot of that today. The boys' game, which is going to come on here, probably around, third quarter on this one. I'd say the boys' game is going to start. Then at that point, we are going to, have 2 games to talk about at the same time, but Westhill boys are not bad. They're 16-4. But, when you look at how competitive the FCAC is, you have from the boys, they're up like undefeated there. Then you have Trumbull with just a couple losses. You got a lot of teams that don't lose a lot of games. So it's really competitive as well. Same thing as you see here with the girls. I mean, you got 3 teams at 9-4. And from the 5th spot all the way to the 8th spot. So it's everything is really tight here at the FCAC as well. So winning out here, and the record's only 2 losses. I mean, they came against a Greenwich team, and that was early where Greenwich shot Louts out in that game. Not much they could have done. And then, I think the Ludlow loss is probably the one that they will look at and think that probably didn't need to happen or shouldn't have happened. Either way, that was a home game. Rutgers looked to be in control, but that game was tight. And then at the end, it just, you got to put teams away. And they've been great at that year. That's probably the only game where that didn't happen. And it's probably a good lesson they'll take into this playoff here. That game will kind of get them thinking. Here's Kaney bringing the ball up. Something you don't see very often, but she's doing that, getting it to best. And they are moving the ball well. And it's interesting, as the season is going along here, Coach Sparks has used, I want to say, more players, especially that game against St. Joe, which to me was surprising because I thought that was going to be a much closer game. And here's Emma Agio again for 3. She continues 6 points here in this first quarter. hot early on. She's been shooting lights out, like I said, the last couple of games. And so, especially against St. Joe's, Coach used, a lineup with, I want to think of, not a lineup, but a rotation, close to, I believe, 9 players in that game, which, everybody, myself included, thought it was going to be a close game. And you look at St. Joe's record here on the left at 10-3. Should have been a little closer than that, but he's trusting his entire bench. We've talked about earlier how deep they are as a team, and they're doing well, and they continue to do their thing. So that's really encouraging to see, and that should serve them really well as we move on. Here's Harvey with the ball in the wing, and City Captain had checked in, and that was her. And here's Addie with the attempt number 3. And so now we got Caney and Katzner and Best on the floor, all off the bench for the Wreckers, along with Talbot and Harvey. And Maeve has won some considerable playing time here later. And there's Harvey from way downtown. Good bucket. That's a 17-4 early. It's a 13-point lead early. But yeah, she's gotten some significant minutes against St. Joe's in the first half. She had some good minutes there, and she kind of leads that JV team, but she's been getting some really good varsity minutes here. And she's another one. Both Maeve and Addie, multi-sport athletes, big part of the lacrosse team. Addie also on the soccer team. So it's a really good team. And there's Katzner from the corner. Coach talked about it last time. She's probably one of the best shooters on the team off the bench. And now we're up 16, and they're showing their entire dominance here early on in this game. And holding Westhill to 4 points. And this is kind of how we thought this game would go. It's kind of playing out exactly how we thought. Unfortunately, the gap between the FCAC here, once you get out of the top teams here, New Canaan at 6 and 7, but below that you have teams with 2-3 wins, and Westhill is one of them. Here's Cadmus from the corner again, and she'll hit it again. That's 6 first quarter points for Sadie. Emma's got 6. That's a high scoring 23 points in that first quarter for the Wreckers, only allowing 4. So the girls are shooting well and defending really well. Oh, and Semi Selig's in as well. She checked in there. She was the ball, took that shot from the corner, and now it's down in the first quarter, 23-4. Smooth first quarter here for the girls. You see the coaching staff there kind of just going about their business. 23-4. Really good first quarter. Asia with 6 points. Katzner with 6 points. So, really good. As we check in, hear what's going on. One of the things, we got the boys squash with Nationals girls squash as well. So we're getting some notes that the boys won their first match. They're into the quarterfinals, which is really good for that program. It's one of those things that's kind of sometimes not in our radar, but they are a very good boys squash team, and the girls team as well. They have some national caliber players on both those squads. So that's really good. Congratulations to them for doing that. And I think also we have the FCAC Wrestling Championship that's going on. That's going to go on tomorrow as well. Not the FCAC, I take it back. That's the CIAC, so it's already the states. I think it was supposed to be a 2-day event, and because of the snow we were supposed to get, I think it was moved to a 1-day event. Records coming back on the court here for the second quarter. We have Maeve Best, Sam Selig, looks like Riley Caney, Kennedy Doe making her first appearance here on that. We'll find out who the fifth one is here on the court, and that's Sadie Katzner. So coach going here with his second lineup of the day, the 23 with the 19-point lead, You got to get everybody in, like I mentioned, stay in game shape, but stay healthy. That's what's going to be the point of this game, right into the Ridgefield game for Monday. Westhill putting a little bit of pressure here, full court press, trying to get the Wreckers to think a little bit, but they be moving the ball really well, and Katzner just a little strong off that, but the Wreckers retain possession as Maeve Best went after that ball there. Listen, there's so much to talk about how better improve and what this team does best, but it's just been really a defensive mentality, and Coach Sparks talked about it. The girls this year really they've been playing so well on defense, and defense is about effort, right? So the effort's there. The changes that you see from year to year with players, it's really incredible. Some years, you just never know how they develop so fast, and they've bought into the program, and that's a quick bucket there for Sadie. Well done. Good inbound play. But it's just been really a joy to watch from the struggles that they had last year, and to just being able to completely dominate the FCAC. Like I said, I take it the Ludlow game as just, hiccup on the road, and I think that, once we get to play Greenwich again, we'll see that would belong up there. I think defeating Trumbull was a big statement win for the girls this year, and after doing that, I think they got a lot of confidence. And then, you're not going to be able to talk about this season without mentioning the Danbury game. I think that, down 6 points with 30 seconds to go, Freya hits 2 threes. I mean, so many. I think I've watched that clip so many times, but when you look at they bring the ball up. They rotate it around. Not without any panic to find a Harvey open on the left, and then they pressure, and Smith comes up. Chloe comes up with a big steal and gets the ball right to Freya, and she takes a step and then takes a shot. Really incredible. And then what we saw in the overtime was what we expected to be, which is a 9-point comfortable win for them. But that game right there and Katzner takes a 3 here, is going to be probably, hopefully not the signature win of the season, because we hope that it's the FCI championship and playing at Mohegan Sun for the state title. But that comeback will definitely go down as a high point of this season, and as they move further along, they'll remember that, because it's and you saw many comments, people talking about Reggie Miller and the Knicks, and when he hit those 2 back-to-back threes to that playoff at the Garden, that's what it kind of felt like. So it was really special to see that happen. So 25-4 here. Wreckers continue to dominate and get the ball, and we'll have a timeout on the floor. 25-4. About 4 minutes into halftime. And we are live from the junkyard. Following up here, thank you Birdseye for allowing us to get this out here for everyone to follow the game. So it's fun to do that. But yeah, again, we'll go over the standings. You see it on the left side. We got Greenwich at 12-1. The Wreckers at 11-2. We got Trumbull 11-2. St. Joe's at 10-3. Danbury, Ridgefield, and Ward all at 9-4. Stefford 9-5, Ludlow at 7-6, and New Canaan 6-7. Remember, top 8 make the playoffs. Right now, we got Greenwich, Stanford, Staples, Ward, Trumbull, Ridgefield, and St. Joe's and Danbury, all fighting for those. And I think top 4 are already in the playoffs, and it would take a real combination of results to knock Ward out at 9-4. They should be able to sneak in as well, get their spot. And Harvey will clean that up and put the bucket in. As you see, the starters going back in now. for Coach. He's again just keeping them in shape. It seems game shape. It was he got a game on Monday, so they will have a couple of days off. Then Monday could turn into a Tuesday, Thursday, like I said earlier. But hopefully not. But yeah, 27-4. Really, Grows in control here. I don't think Westhill has scored in the second quarter yet. They scored 4 points in the first. Still scoreless in the second. And it's been a really good performance by the Wreckers, and as expected. And like I said, stay with us. We are going at 7 o'clock. We'll split screen here, bring the boys game in. They will be at Westhill tonight. And they also have Westhill Ridgefield to close out the regular season. And, we don't look past boys in Westhill. They're 16-4, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. Should win the game, and hopefully on Monday, when Ridgefield comes in, we're talking, an undefeated season for the boys, and the girls too at 11-2. You talk about, turning the program around. It's just an incredible season by them. And here's the ball inside to Smith, and she will jump ball here on this. And Westhill did get a bucket, 27-6, I guess. Between talking about all that, I missed that shot, but 27-6. So we have 21-point lead for the Wreckers with 3 minutes left in the first half, and Talbot is just wide there with the 3 attempt. And they'll get the ball here. Let it go. Get the ball out. That will be a hand to the face. 27-6, 3 minutes left in that in the second quarter into the half. Coach has used about 10 players right now. He's at a whole second unit in, so a lot of players getting playing time today as this game progresses here, and that's what we should see too. Here's Westhill trying to get the ball up. Nice ball movement here for Frail takes the 3. And Belzer gets the rebound and almost puts it in. Two and a half left in the first. Nice steal. Get the ball out in front. And 2 more for Harvey. She's probably got around 6 points too. It's when we talk a lot about the quiet scoring. Sometimes Smith will we have 16, 20 points a game, and we'll say quiet 20, and that's kind of like what we're saying sometimes from Freya, because we just expect to see so much play from her. So it's still playing great and running that team, and here we go. And that's Azio for 3 in the corner. She'll hit that. Bam. 32-6, 9 first half points for Emma. Great performance. 32-6. Only 4 points in the first quarter, 2 points in the second quarter for Westhill. The Wreckers just played dominating defense, as you see. 5 players ready to check in as Westhill gets a bucket there off the steal. So 32-8. As you can see, they're on the bench. So we got only 5 players coming in, and Azio passed a 3 there, just drive it in, and just missed that. All right, so that's Smith got the rebound, got fouled on the way up, so she'll shoot 2 free throws. As the Wreckers will sub the entire team out here after I believe the first free throw. Minute left until halftime, 32-8. Wreckers fully in control. It's been a quick first half. Not a lot of fouls. The game flow is really good, and that tends to happen when you have a team that's just really head and shoulders above the competition, so they tend to really get that going. And Smith goes 1 for 2. It's 33-8. You had Selig with a steal, and she feeds Smith, who gets a bucket. She's got 3 first half points. Might have been another bucket here and there. I'm not really keeping stats, trying to go from memory on this game here, but she's everybody's kind of playing well. It's Westhill is not really putting up a fight on this game, and it's not because they don't want to. It's just that the Rutgers are really a superior squad here. Probably their top 10 players. And we got a pause here in the action. And Katzner grabs the rebound, gets it out to Maeve Best, and they'll push the floor with 40 seconds left. Probably a couple more possessions here until halftime. And Maeve will hit the three. 30-point lead, 38-8, with 25 seconds to go. Really good shot too, and that's where we are. 30-point lead in the first half, and then the ball belongs to the Rutgers as Westhill throws it away. So defense allowed 4 points in the first quarter, 4 points in the second quarter. Not much to say about it. Really good, solid performance. And we will probably turn into a very good win for the ladies. Nice ball movement. That's Kennedy in the wing, getting the ball inside. And that will do it. So, first half over, Rutgers with a 30-point lead, 38-8 at the end of the first half. As I mentioned, Westhill scored 8 points in the first quarter, 8 points in the second quarter, and the Rutgers fully in control. We'll take a break here, keep it going, and we'll be back for the second half. Thanks so much for joining us. See you in a bit. All right, everyone, we're back here for the second half. 38-30 lead for the Wreckers, 30-point lead. Really good first half. They allowed 4 points in the first quarter, 4 points in the second quarter. Really dominant performance. Coach is kind of subbing in full squads. You should see some of the younger players get a chance here in the second half that have been playing really well for the JV are going to get some chance here with the varsity team, I believe, in the second half. So we get to see some new faces. And as I do that, I'm just pulling up a roster here, so make sure that we get all the players' numbers and names correct for the second half. And they just had the buzzer sound there to get the second half started. Looks like the starting five are in the court on the court. Yep, expect them to probably play close to 4 minutes here into this this third quarter. Records moving right to left on your screen, and Westhill from left to right. And they'll attempt a three here, and that's short. It'll be record ball underneath the basket. Aze will bring the ball up, and Addy will take it to Belzer on the corner. Shoot, drive around, kick the ball back out. Westhill moving the ball well, trying to get it inside. Rutgers again with some good defense, keeping the ball out of the hands of the big player there inside paint. And that shot will be on top of the backboard. And the Rutgers will maintain possession underneath the basket with still with the 30-point lead. No score here in the third quarter yet, but the Rutgers still with 38-30. And Harvey here with a nice drive. And she got fouled. We'll see the replay here. Beat the player off the dribble, and as she was going up, she was fouled. And she'll shoot a couple of free throws. First one is good. And the second one is good as well, so it's now it's a 32-point lead for the Wreckers. And they continue to press the defense there. See Addy doing a full court press a little bit. And they're just making them move the ball. And still showing a lot of good effort and good rotation by Staples to make sure that nothing's let up. And they're playing good defense and slapping the balls around. Good to see that. Really good to see that. And this will be a jump ball, and I believe it will belong to Staples. Yes, that is correct. I think yep. 6 minutes left in the third, 40-8. Wreckers fully in command of this matchup, and this is their next last regular season game. Monday, the girls will be at Ridgefield as Smith hits a three, 43-8. Monday they'll be at Ridgefield. Tip-off of that game at 7 p.m. at Tiger Hollow. And then they will in turn come back home and host an FCI quarterfinal matchup. That game, as it stands right now, the projected playoff game is going to be an FCI quarterfinal at home right now against Fairfield Ward. And when they played Ward at home, it was for it gets another bucket, 45-8. When they played Ward at home, that was a dominant performance by the ladies as well. And Ward is a team that was in the FCI final last year, but they lost a lot of players. Still a big team. They have some big players inside, but the Wreckers were able to handle that pretty well. And 47-8, Coach Sparks calls a timeout to get 5 new players in the court here. And that's what you're looking at. You're looking at a game on Monday at Ridgefield. Then you're hosting a playoff game. And this is new for the FCAC. For the first time, the quarterfinals are going to be played at the highest seed. So the Wreckers on Wednesday, we should have a big day of basketball with the girls playing at 5 and then the boys playing at 7. Both playoff games should be a lot of fun that day. And you know, it's looking again like the Ward will not be a walk in the park, and the boys right now are set to play Stanford, which, you know, they should be able to win that game, but still not going to be you know, where you think that you're 1-8 matchup traditionally. But that's what you're looking at. So 2 more regular season games, then you got the playoffs, and then if both teams win, you're looking at Saturday at Wilton. Both boys and girls playoffs semifinals will be played. We don't have the schedule yet or when the games will shape up, but you know, from what I assume, you're probably gonna have both girls game played and then both boys games played. Probably, you know, with an afternoon for the girls and evening games for the boys. And then after that, the FCX final will be next Wednesday, and that will be played at Fairfield University like it was last year. And that'll also be a doubleheader, girls with the first game, boys with the second game of that. And hey, we could have the Wreckers in both those finals. That would be something really special to be a part of. And you see here, we got 5 new players on the court. We got Sammy Selig, Kennedy Doe, Maeve Best, Riley Caney, and Sadie Katzner leading the squad here for the Wreckers with a 47-8 lead. And as Westhill moves the ball around here, we got 5 minutes left in the third. And they got a good bucket there. There you go. All right, so 47-10. And a steal and scoop. And they get another bucket too, so 47-12. Quick 4 points for Westhill here, getting to 12 points in this game. Scaney misses the shot, gets home, rebound. Kastner cleans it up. And then the Wreckers are back to setting up their offense to try to get a clean shot here. Now you're looking at a lot of, you know, ball movement, use the clock, shorten the game. And there's Selig for 3. Great shot. 50-12. A great corner 3 by Selig. Yeah, but you know, in a situation like this, you're gonna, you know, work the ball around, shorten the game, let the clock run a little bit. You know, and I've talked to coaches enough about games like this, right, where you're dominating the game and you get into a second half, which you kind of already know the outcome, but you get minutes in, you work some players in that a lot of times you don't see at this level. But great pass, really nice pass from Maeve there to find Kennedy underneath the basket for a bucket. But you get in some work, you see them playing this level because Westhill still got their starters in there, so you get to see them play And it's also about maintaining the intensity, playing hard defense, which they seem to still are, and keeping the level of play the same. And that really does make coaches very happy. And you see here number 14 checking in for the Wreckers. I'm sorry, number 24 checking in for the Wreckers, and that is Mili Di Giovanni, freshman. So really good to see really getting some playing time here as well. And she's been playing really well for the JV squad all season. So getting here some good varsity minutes. About 3 minutes left in the third quarter. There'll be record ball as they throw it away. So closing out the third quarter here for the girls. We are at 6:41. The boys tip off at 7. We'll split screen right when their game starts as well to follow that. And hopefully that we'll get that going pretty soon. And that should be a competitive game. We're talking about that, where Westhill is 16-4. And 4-win season usually would get you at the top of the standings, but the FSEC's really top heavy this year with Staples undefeated, Trumbull with just 2 losses. So anytime you get those teams in there, you know that you're going to have some competitive basketball. So it should be a really good game for the boys coming up here in about 17 minutes or so. Sorry about that, we're back. Had a little technical difficulty with the software, but it's back on. Still a controllable game for the Wreckers, 54-12, and some hard-fought defense here as they continue to play really hard. And you see Semi there with the steal, fitting made for 3, just off the mark. I'm not sure what the call is here. We'll wait to see. So I think it's a record foul on the floor, though. I think there's been a lot of team fouls in the second half. Checking in for the first time today is number 33, Olivia Lambert, another freshman. So you see Coach Sparks here getting some of his younger players some very good varsity time. You know, the players that kind of help you day to day on your practice get to play here. So that's really nice, good to see. And also, it's great for the program when you have a couple freshmen on the court here with Di Giovanni and Lambert. And they've been really great at the JV level, so getting some playing time here varsity is really good. And the Wreckers still with a 54-12 lead. So it's been consistent. They've allowed 4 points per quarter so far, which is such a great defensive performance. Doesn't matter who you play. When you're allowing 4 points per quarter, it's a very good defensive game. Good rebound pick up by Mealy there. Should play the ball back, and Kennedy as they pass the ball around with a few seconds to go in the quarter. And here's another 2 points for Kennedy. She's got a quick 6 points here off the bench playing in this third quarter. So good play by her. And Lambert gets a 3. Great shot. And that ends that Third quarter. Did they give her a 3? No, they gave her a 2. They gave her a 2 that just stepped foot on the line. But that closes out that third quarter. So it's 58-14. Great effort by the Lady Wreckers here. Fully in control. They will improve to 12-2. And I'm not sure who Greenwich is playing tonight. But don't think they're going to have too much trouble winning their game either. So I'm just looking here to try to get the schedule, see who Greenwich is playing today. We can kind of look a little more into the last final day of regular season play, which will be Monday. Hopefully there's school and hopefully they play. If not, things get pushed to Tuesday. You're looking at Tuesday, Thursday, and then a Saturday should still be the semifinals. But let's hope that doesn't happen. And we're looking at... So Greenwich is hosting Ward this evening. That game is actually starting at 7, starting in about 13 minutes or so. You never know. That's why you play the game. There's a possibility here. But even if Greenwich would in fact lose, the Wreckers would still be in second place because Greenwich would have the tiebreaker. So, and in the last game of the regular season, Greenwich playing McMahon, so we don't expect Greenwich to lose any games. So regardless, the Wreckers, the best they would do is a second seed, which would be a game against the 7th seed, which right now is Ward. But again, Ward's going to go to 9-5 if they in fact do lose to Greenwich tonight, and they could slide into that 8th spot, depending on what Stanford does. And then, there's just so much up here to see. Like the Wreckers will be hosting a game. It depends on who they're going to play. And as we close out here, about 6 minutes left into this game. So we're looking forward to doing 2 games at once, but it's probably not going to happen. The girls here, we got 12 minutes to tip off for the boys, and 6 minutes left with the game for the girls. So this game will be over before the next one starts. And as we look at it here, and Coach Sparks getting some more players in here. And there was another freshman that came in. I believe it's Hope Vengro just came into as well. So now you have about 3 freshmen on the court at the varsity game. That's really good. Great for the program. Great for the players that do get a chance to play here. I believe Hope started this season hurt. The right ankle or the right foot. And here's Melody Giovanni getting a bucket here as it leads now 67-14. But yeah, so Hope started the year hurt with a boot, and now she's on the court in the last home regular season game. They'll have at least one more home game in the FCAC, and then you have the state playoffs, which they will be hosting, maybe 1 or 2 games at home. And that was a play where Bess was trying to fight Kennedy Doe there towards the end, but she just wasn't looking for that pass. So, but it was a good attempt. 5:34 to go, 67-14. Great performance by the Lady Wreckers. Again, with a very comfortable win, showing why they are the number 2 seeded team in the FCAC. Lambert takes a shot, and that's just off the mark. Millie gets around the player and just misses. So we got a call on the floor here as 4.5 left, and Rutgers up by 50 right now. So this is the high scoring quarter for Westhill, getting some points here. Are getting, like I said, a lot of their freshmen into the game, and now it's a 6-7, 21-point game. Rufus gets back, and they pressure that shot. Kennedy attempts a long shot that gives out a long rebound. Westhill picks it up, and they bring it up the court. And then Hope commits to shoot a couple free throws here with about 3 minutes left into this game. So Rutgers improved to 12-2 in the season, and they will be next at Ridgefield. That's Monday, February 23rd. And that game is not at Staples. This is up there. That game is at Ridgefield. So that is Monday, February 23rd at Ridgefield at 7 p.m. Then their FCI quarterfinal match, that will be home. That's Wednesday, February 25th. And that one is at Staples. So apologize for what it says there on the screen, but it's going to be at Ridgefield, that game. And as we move towards here at the end of the game, under 3 minutes to go, and that's a 3 for Hope Vangro. Great shot. Great to the freshman, getting some good playing time and scoring here. They're still diving on the floor. They're still going after those balls. It's really great sign. Caney has checked back in for the Wreckers. Lambert takes a 3. Caney picks up the rebound. And Millie DiGiovanni hits a 3-pointer as well. So lead back up to 49 points. Seven 3:24. So we'll close out the game here. Final thoughts is really what we expected to see today. Really a dominant performance by the Lady Wreckers. Never in doubt. They had, I think it was 11-point lead, 3 minutes into the game. So really well done. Great performance by the records as they close this out and improve to 12-2 with a very good win over Westhill. And that Ridgefield game, again, Ridgefield 9-4 team, so a couple games separates these teams. Never easy to go on the road in the FCAC, so hopefully the girls put up a really good performance there and close out their season and look into the playoffs. You see here, they're giving some full court press here, but Semi gets it up to Millie, who feeds it Hope inside, and they almost get another bucket there. I'm sorry, that was Kane inside. And Kane shoot a couple free throws here as we are about 4 minutes away from tip-off for the boys game. And that is going to come to you live, and that's coming from Westhill. So we're going to split screen right now a little bit so you can see what's going on there. As you can see here, the boys are being introduced on the other side. So you see there they're introduced, and now they're introducing Westhill on the other side. And as we mentioned, Westhill, they come in with a record of 7-6. They are sitting at the number 7 team in the FCAC. They do have a lot. And one thing I should mention too is that look at the standings. These are standings for the FCAC games only, which is the FCAC playoffs. Staples has 4 more wins, as does Westhill. So Staples is 18-0. They have 5 more wins, and so does Westhill. They are 12-6. That is correct. They're 12-6. So both of these teams are very good teams, and this should be a really good game here coming live to you from Stanford. And as the ladies close out, they're a game here at 74-26. And the girls' game's over. Great win by the ladies, 74-26. They improved to 12-2 in the regular season. So congratulations, Coach Tommy Sparks and the girls for that. We will now go straight over to the boys' game as we switch here, and the boys will now tip off against Westhill from Stanford in this FCAC matchup. Congrats again to the girls. Great game. And the boys here, number 1 team, undefeated. They are 18-0. As I mentioned before, this standings here on your left side that you see are FCAC playoff standings only. Loman with the ball. And gets the ball to Austin Heyer, who finds Clacko early on. So starting lineup for the Wreckers, you got Sam Clacko, Austin Heyer, Matty Corrigan, Dylan Loman, and Mason Tobias, your regular starting for the Wreckers. So Coach Goldshore putting in his number one team here to start, and that's Austin Heyer with a nice reverse layup to get the first bucket for the Wreckers, the 2-0 lead early on. Westhill moves the ball here, and great pick by Clacko and pushing the ball up the floor, and he's fouled on that way, I believe. Oh no, just out of bounds for ball for Staples. Early on here, as you can see, good pace by both teams. Wreckers again been having a tremendous season, undefeated at 18-0. As I mentioned, the 13-0 on the side is only for the FCX playoffs, as Loman is strong on his 3 attempt. But both teams, and Westhill also has 5 more wins from this 13 games that you see in the FCX season. And I talk to people all the time since we've been doing this for the last 3 years, and you look at these FCX tournaments and feel like they are like mini state tournaments as the Vikings hit a 3-pointer to go up 3-2 from the corner. The teams are just so good, so strong. It's really hard to play day in, day out within the FCX. That prepares you really well for the state tournament. High gets the ball inside, and Clacko moves in and shifts it back out to Dylan, and he just misses his 3. Oh, what a play by Mason there. Great steal. And gets the ball to Heyer on the corner. He passes up the 3 dribbles. Finds Corrigan. He gets the ball to Tobias inside. A nice up and under move by Mason. Mason has been just, we all know how good Mason is, and he's a good player. He's a big part of last year's team. But he has really performed great this season, and him and Clacko have been just a deadly 1-2 punch for the Wreckers all season long, and you know that they're going to be tough to deal with in the playoffs, whoever they play. You fully expect them to kind of get to that FCX final day. Coach Goldshore talked a couple times about getting to play in that final day of FCX. They've done that the last 3 years, and they will probably do it again this year, but it's really going to be about getting to that, advancing that Division 1 state tournament. Last year, I thought they played a really great game against St. Bernard, and almost got through that game. Obviously, they lost Clacko late in the season. Oh, and nice play here. Nice one, give and go between Mason and Sam. We've talked about it, and they go at it again. 6-3 early lead for the Wreckers in the first. So it's really about that, and you're not going to hear the coaches talk about it because they don't talk, they don't look ahead. Great defense, nice step up and steal by Loman. Clacko pushing it up the floor, looking for it, and he will find, and that's a 3 for Heyer. And that's a quick 9-3 lead for the Wreckers. Coach Goldshore was hot about something there. Maybe he felt like the Austin was pushed off. And they finally get the call. Yeah, you could see there where the Westhill player was kind of, trying to get free by elbowing the Wrecker defender, and then they finally caught it. And he's still telling the ref about that. Coach Goldshore is hot about that. But that's coaches do, right? They see what's going on and they try to lure the refs, so sometimes they miss a thing here and there. And Clacko finds Loman underneath, and he will get the bucket. Great pass inside, and good for Dylan staying with the ball after the initial block. Stay with it and got the bucket. 11-3. Good defense, and that's... And what are they going to call that? I think they call it a jump ball. That would be Staples' ball. So you talk about the boys' season this year, and when last year with winning the FCAC after a 63 year drought, you thought, well, this was a great season. What are they going to top it next year? And it's definitely looking that way. If they can finish off the last two games here, uh, have the first undefeated nice ball inside. That was Austin to Maddie, and that is now a 10-point lead with 3 minutes left in the first quarter, and that's a timeout by Westhill. You look at after winning the FSAC the way they did last year, with arguably the league's top player in Sam Clack or hurt, they still went out, won the FCAC, beat Ridgefield in that final, and then you're like, how are they going to top it next year? And I guess being undefeated and repeating as an FCAC champion, that would definitely top it. That would be special. So we are looking to have again a very good year from them this year. Good defense by Sam here, trying to get the ball off the player's hand, and then you see it, right? I mean, the defense for the Wreckers is just like relentless. They just play really good defense. They don't give up. They don't give up anything. Even when they lose there, I see like they go right behind it. They get the ball back. Here's Clacko into Lohman, who gets it to Tobias, and that is a bucket. And that should have been an end one, but it wasn't. Still 15-3. This is the second time we do a prep zone cast, and all these games have been really one-sided games. We did it for the tournament. I think the Wreckers won. It was an average of 45 points. Both those games, I think 60 or 71, and then 45 point the other. So they dominate when we get here and do this, which is great for the team and just gives us a chance to see a lot more plays. As you see here now, Henry and Jack Jacobs, both Henry Vesed and Jack Jacobs checking in for the Wreckers. As Clack will bring the ball up. And you should see a lot more of that throughout this game. Coach Shore will give his players a lot of time and, really get good work here. And as I mentioned during the girls' game, it is really about staying healthy, right? And getting through these games and really performing out as you can kind of see the playoffs just ahead, and you want to just be playing your best basketball as you get through that. So very excited about that too as well. Boys bring the ball up here. Sam's got the ball. He's bringing it up with a minute left in the first quarter. 17-3 lead for the Wreckers. 14 points. Great defense. So we just watched the girls game, and they allowed 4 points in the first. That's great pass inside to Jack Jacobs. He'll finish it off. The girls are allowed 4 points in the first quarter, and looks like the boys will allow 3. Great defense, and that again will be a miss, and Sam will get the ball. He'll bring it up. Mason kind of got that ball out. But yeah, you would think like a 3-point first quarter was good by the girls, and the boys top it off here with just allowing just 3 points in that first quarter. So great performance, just really well done. You can see Jared Sale here. Jared's in. He checked in as well, and they will get a buck. So they'll get 5 points. All right. Here's Mason carrying the ball and hit a last minute shot, and that will just go off. So 19-5, end of the first quarter. Great first quarter by the boys. Rutgers, you're dominating this basketball night here on Friday. Last regular season Friday of the season. 19-5 in this first quarter. Really comfortable lead by the boys. Great defense again. And they scored well, shot the ball really well. Made a couple threes, moved the ball out, got some points inside the paint. Mason had a good first quarter, as well as did Sam. Really, they spread the ball around. Very balanced team. They've been balanced all year, right? We've seen that. It's every night there's somebody else that steps in that makes a play. So, see the crowd there, a good crowd in Westhill. Westhill will inbound to start the second quarter. 19-5, record lead, 14-point lead. Westhill will bring the ball down. Starters are back in for the Wreckers. Nice turnaround jumper there by Westhill to get an early basket in the second quarter. And that's great move by Mason again, that up and under. Second time, so he's faking that ball up. The defender from Westhill is jumping at it, and he's just going up and under the second time for a layup. 21-7. So with the backboard, and it would be Wrecker inbound under the basket. And that number 3 for Westhill had hit a 3 earlier. He missed on that one, but he did hit one earlier. That is a great effort play by Mason. Wow. He chased the guy from behind and blocked him as he went up to try to get a layup. So effort is there. And then that's what you see different, right? I mean, they're up by 14 and you're sprinting down the floor and you're making that kind of play. That's championship caliber play by Mason. Now you have Henry Vesett in, you have Jack Jacobs in, together with Austin still in, and Sam still in as well, with Corrigan also on the floor. That's from way downtown. Sam tried that, and Jacobs will be called for the push off on that rebound. Westfield gets another bucket here, so 21-9. Great pass. Another long full court pass by Clackle finding Corrigan. He'll put that bucket in, 23-9. And he's been doing that quite often. We saw that against Trumbull a couple times where Maddie kind of sprinted down the floor, and then Sam would find him there. So that was we saw that, which was a big play there early. I think, if I remember correctly, that was like early in the third quarter against Trumbull. We just saw that again. I missed free throw. So 23-9 still with 5 minutes left in the second quarter. You have on the floor Henry Vessa, Jack Jacobs, Sam Clacko, Matty Corrigan, and Austin Heyer. And they will hit that second free throw. So 23-11. 3-10 actually. And so the Wreckers move the ball around here. So you got Jack passing to Sam on the wing. Sam trying to free himself. Goes inside, finds Jacob, who gets the bucket and one. Well done by Blue. So if you see me call me Blue, the story is Blue, and Jack has said it's okay to share this one. So we did an interview last year with, I believe the interview was with Sam Clacko, and Sam asked for his teammates to be on it with him, and Jack Jacobs was one of the guys who was behind the shot there, and he was wearing this blue hoodie that became his signature. I think it became a meme, and then from that point on, everybody's been calling him Blue. And Jack also plays as a big part of the baseball team, so that's it might be the first PrepZone nickname generated from PrepZone is with Jack Jacobs there as Blue. And the Wreckers running the floor here and here. Oh, they're gonna they call it travel, yeah. So it's a 15-point lead, 4:50 left in this first half. Wreckers fully in control. Playing hard, playing good defense. Everything we've seen from them all year. I think now they can taste this undefeated regular season, and you should see a great performance tonight. And we're gonna see their final regular season home game. And their next game is Monday at 7 p.m. at the Junkyard against Ridgefield. And then you have the FCI quarterfinal match as it stands right now against Stanford. I don't know who Stanford's playing tonight. There could be a switch between Stanford and Westhill for that 7th and 8th spot. Ward at 8 and 5 should kind of remain on that 6th spot there. So you could see a switch in the 6th and 7th spot between Westhill and Stanford. I don't think either want to go to the Junkyard. And look at Jacobs, another rebound and put back in. I don't think either team wants to go to Staples to play that quarterfinal match next Wednesday, but one of them is going to have to. Let's see. We'll look at some scheduling here to see what we could towards the end of the season. As Clacko brings up the ball to the floor, 27-14. So Westhill is going to close out against Trumbull. So they will likely lose this game and the Trumbull game. So Westhill is going to have 8 losses in this. And depending on what Stanford does, Stanford could definitely be that 7th seed. And if Central wins a couple games, they could sneak into that playoff seeding. But likely Westhill is going to travel to Staples to play that quarterfinal game there. And there's a timeout on the floor with 3 minutes left, 27-14. Let's take a look at the Stanford schedule to see where they play. We saw Westhill does. Stanford is going to play. They just have one more game, and they're playing against. That's a St. Joseph. And they should be able to win that game. So Stanford is going to take that 7th spot from Westhill. and Westhill will drop to the 8th spot, bearing, a crazy turnaround with Central. Well, you never know. Greenwich at 9 and 8. Greenwich could sneak in that 8th spot and go to Staples. So nothing's a given here. I think that 7, 8, 9, and 10 spot are all up for grabs. So we'll have to see who Staples will play in that quarterfinal game at home. So I want to say that projection against Stanford is going to change. You see that project playoff, that's probably going to change. Mason here inside here, that baby hook's been working all season. He works again. And it's a good lead for the Wreckers at 24-14. We have 2.5 minutes left into the first half. Good defense there. I think Clack will knock the ball away loose. And players are jumping all over the court. You see the effort there by Austin. But the ball ends up in the hands of Westhill. They're bringing it, trying to get a couple more buckets here and cutting to this Wrecker lead. We'll see what this play here is. And good. Loman forces the pass, and man, bodies flying all around. What efforts. Great. And the Wreckers, and that will be Mason to finish off with another 2. What a season Tobias is having, really. I think teams came in this season knowing that they're going to have to deal with Claco. The college commit, playing ball next year. But I don't think, although we knew Mason was going to have a good year, I don't think anybody saw this season coming from him. Just a dominant season. Every time I think when he plays even big players, he plays even bigger, and he's just been leading the team in scoring. And as team goes in to try to stop Claco's finding his teammates, and Mason has been probably one of his best targets all year. And you can see, every accolade Mason's getting this year. And then this is a guy who's, Mason next year is going to actually be a pitcher in college, Division III college. So he's not going to, basketball is not his main sport. He can throw that ball 90 miles an hour. And, he's a big part of what Coach McFarland and the Wreckers baseball do and what they will do this season. So congrats on a great basketball season, Mason. And, we're going to see him on the diamond pretty soon, too, as well. But yeah, so 33-14. Wreckers with a 19-point lead. And 1:40 left into this first half. As Claco brings in. And the starters have played for most of the half. I think Coach Goldshore is keeping these guys in, taking this game seriously. Continue this season here, I think. Like I said earlier, great pass. Corrigan drives in and gets a bucket. 21-point lead. Like I said, when you can taste that undefeated season, which would be another historic mark for the Wreckers, for Coach Goldshore. So he definitely wants to, get that for the boys and for the school and for this team. And I mentioned earlier in the telecast, I said, how are they going to top, an FCI championship after 63 years? And this is how you do it. You go undefeated and you repeat as champions, and then that will definitely do it. So Clack will bring the ball up here. 45 seconds left into this first half. The Wreckers have a 19-point lead. And I don't know what the call is. They will wait to see. I think he called. Did he eject a player? I think he just ejected a player from Westhill. And now the coach from Westhill is giving the ref a earful. I don't know if he called a foul or what he did, but the referee just took a player off the floor. And he called a technical foul. Yeah, he ejected. You can see that number 4 they're leaving. They're leaving the gym. My guess is he said something that was heard, and no, he's not leaving, so he's coming back to the bench. I don't know if he's been ejected. I don't know if you have to leave the bench, but all I know is that he was pulled off the floor by the ref. It was a technical foul. It might have been just a technical, and then he can come back in. Either way, that was a tricky sequence there, but Rutgers have the ball, 37 seconds, up by 21. Clack will just strong sell, tries to get the rebound that comes off him. It'll be Westhill ball. And Jared will pick up the guy here in the court number 1. Another good defensive sequence by the Rutgers. They pick up a loose ball. Loman's bringing it up the court. Just mishandled there. Westhill will take the ball with 1 second left, and that will be the end. Did that count? I don't know if that counted or not. It's a good play. I think they're going to count it. I don't think anybody knows. The refs are all looking at each other. I don't think they know what happened there. They don't know they're going to count the bucket. They did. They counted the bucket. So it's 37-18. It is a 19-point first half lead for the Wreckers. Really well done. On their way to improving to 19-0. So we'll take a quick break here. Halftime, Wreckers 37-18. Earlier we had the girls with a huge win over Westhill. As we continue here, the final Friday of regular season basketball for the Wreckers. We'll be right back right after this. Thank you.
Investment Partners, and by Hammer and Nails. Active Dog, and by Hammer and Nails. Staples basketball live streams are brought to you by Skyberlog. Staples basketball Academy live camps streams are brought to you by Skyberlog. Castle Keep Investment Partners, Academy Camps, Active Dog, Castle Keep Investment Partners, and by Hammer and Nails. Active Dog, and by Hammer and Nails. Staples basketball live streams are brought to you by Skyberlog. Staples basketball Academy live camps streams are brought to you by Skyberlog. Castle Keep Investment Partners, Academy Camps, Active Dog, Castle Keep Investment Partners, and by Hammer and Nails. Active Dog, and by Hammer and Nails. Staples basketball live streams are brought to you by Skyberlog. Staples basketball Academy live camps streams are brought to you by Skyberlog. Castle Keep Investment Partners, Academy Camps, Active Dog, Castle Keep Investment Partners, and by Hammer and Nails. Active Dog, and by Hammer and Nails.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We are just about ready to start the third quarter here with the Wreckers. Again, playing a very good game, and it will look like yeah, starters are back in, and things. Sorry, everyone. Just answering here, Coach. Coach actually texting me, so. Yeah, we're in the telecast, and the coaches are actually texting us here, so that's what we're doing now. But we're back here with you guys. All right, start of the third quarter, with the Wreckers up by um, Wreckers up by 19 into this third quarter. Here's Clacko moving up and down. He gets the ball off, and there'll be their ball again. Westhill trying to get up the floor, and the Wreckers kind of with the good pressure there. To get another thing. So Clark will bring it up here. We talked about how the season has been going great for them, and they continue to play really well. Another, which should be a good victory for them today to improve to 19-0. Pending the other results, really at this point is 19-0 will guarantee 14-0 win the league. Will guarantee their number one spot into the playoffs, which would only not happen in case they lost the last two games, which this win will solidify the number one seed into the FCX playoff. And I think they might be number one or two in the state playoffs. They might be the number one seed in the state playoffs, which means they will host every game at home. Oh, great three by Corrigan from the corner. Not from the corner, but from the top of the key. So that's 40-18. 22-point lead for the Wreckers. That had to be a travel. Yeah. (48-18). Wreckers continue to play really well. And this is another one of those games that, Sam just hasn't scored much, but he has played so great for the team. I mean, he's running that offense from their end to the other end. He's finding the open man. You saw that long pass to Corrigan earlier. You saw him finding Mason a couple of times under the basket. Just spur play like we've seen from him all year. Really unselfish play. And if you're a player on a team like the Wreckers and you see the guy who could be scoring 30 points a night, just really passing the ball and finding his teammates and wanting to win more than anything, it's just like speaks volumes. And you can't be a selfish player and be part of this squad. They're just they share the basketball and then play. They play winning basketball. That's all they do. And Sam was on the receiving end of one there. And we've seen this a couple of times this year where, Clacko will have a quiet first half. Then he'll come out in the third, and Corrigan just misses that three. But Mason goes for that rebound, and Hire was fighting for it, but it'll be Westhill ball. Where he'll have a quiet first half, and then he'll come out in the third quarter and quickly put up like 18, 20 points, and then just, take a seat the rest of the game. But this should be a game where he hangs in there a little bit more. That's another travel. It's the second time that number one is called for a travel. And he's pleading his case with the ref, and the ref probably just explained to him what he sees. I think it has to be the sliding of the foot that the ref seen it a couple of times and called it. I will say this: their court at Westhill is pretty cool. I do like the colors and the darkness of it. It's pretty nice. And that will be a charge stance, and you can see the crowd there is not happy, but uh, you know, charges are fundamental part of Staples basketball, and you see it there. They know how to do it. They know how to do it so well. And there's a timeout on the floor now. Timeout called by Staples. As you see some replays here. That was the three recorded. Good ball movement. The Rutgers getting the ball around here, and that will be good rebound. Mason again, and puts the bucket in. 42-19. Rutgers fully in control here with 5 minutes left in the. Oh, nice steal by Sam. Great play, and that will be. This is what players do. This is what winning players do. Great stepped into that passing lane, took that ball, and put it in. And here's another long pass. This one from Maddie to Austin, and Austin higher gets the 2. All right, the wheels are off here now for the Wreckers. It's 46-19. Just really showing their dominance. It's interesting in these games, right? I mean, and I get called a homer all the time, and that's fine. I totally admit to it. But you come in, you look at teams' records, and sometimes you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a close game. This and that. Aside from the Ludlow game, the Wreckers are winning by 19-20 every single game, and it's been sometimes more. And I just you just see their dominance. So it's like it's you never want to say, well, the FSAC's going to give given, but I just don't see where there's a team here in the FSAC that's going to give them a game until we get to that quarter final of the state tournament. And if that's where we are, and that's a good spot for the program, it's a great spot for the fans. That you have a team that's. And listen, we have to enjoy it. You hopefully that this happens every year, but as you see in sports, you don't always get seasons like this. So we have to enjoy. You have to appreciate that you are witnessing a historic season for the boys, and it's really fun to be a part of. And I don't understand that call. I think see the coach is talking in at center court. That was weird. Anyway, so here you go. So Westhill's getting some calls now that they were definitely not getting in the first half. And you saw that play right there was exactly what happened to Sam on the next play, where the players kind of like leaning in and trying to find space. And Sam got called for the foul, where Westhill didn't get called for the foul. They got the false foul. Refereeing is tricky at every sport, at every level. If you follow sports, you know what I'm talking about. And that's a missed free throw. So Rutgers continue that 48-21 lead. 3 minutes left into this third quarter. Rutgers holding on to very good and comfortable lead. Sale gets the ball around, and that finds Jack Jacobs. He will find Clacko, who will step in, get the ball outside to Mason, who fakes it. Goes up for the baby hook, just short, in front of the rim. Rebound Westhill, bringing the ball up the floor. And that will be another foul. So the game's moving a little slower here in this third quarter. Some more fouls being called. Refs trying to get control of some of this play here, but it's been a really good game. I mean, Rutgers style of basketball. Opponent has 21 points almost into the fourth quarter. So, they got to be happy with that defensive effort there. Their goal is to always keep the opponents under 40. It looks like they will do that this game. And you see, I'm not sure who checked in. We'll get a look at the number. We'll find out. And Austin Hire bring the ball up. I am pulling up a roster here just in case it is needed. So pushing the ball up the floor, trying to play with some tempo, trying to catch the Rutgers off guard, and they hit a three. So 22-point lead. They're cutting the lead down to 22, but again, the Rutgers just easing in at this point. Here's Austin with the ball, and Coach Shore will call a 20-second timeout. That's more just a check-in timeout to give the guys a breather type of scenario, not let Westhill build any momentum. All right, so we go back from the timeout. As we wind down here, 1:53 left. And the Rutgers moving the ball, and Austin Hire here getting the ball. Jacobs makes the cut. He keeps the ball outside. 1:38. Westhill showing some signs of life here, but still like a very comfortable lead for the Rutgers. A little strong on the run there. Westhill trying to cut back in the lead. Sam closes the guy down, and he'll be called for the foul. Should be, I think, second or third. It's like I said, you could sense that some of these calls were going Westhill's way to make this game a tad bit longer. Won't change the outcome, but they're fighting hard. So and that's 21-point lead right now. You see as Tobias checks back in, Corrigan checks back in, as Coach Shore wants to neutralize any threat here at the end of this third quarter. that's one thing too, right? I mean, you've seen from Coach for all year long, like he doesn't play around with any of these games. He treats them as every game is could be changing. Lohman with the three. That they needed that. Been about 3-4 minutes. Being about 2 minutes without a basket, and we get that in. Big three by Lohman from the corner. But he doesn't, he doesn't play around with these. He knows the importance of every game and how, something like this could really change. And then he just goes right back to his guys and his starting guys to make sure that any momentum stays in their way. So. Loma from the corner again, and that's in. That's 2 in a row. He's heating up. Loma's a streaky shooter. He's getting a streak. You're not going to be able to stop him. So that's the second time you saw that offense where Mason gets the ball from the center of the key. He brings it up, and he kicks it out. The ball goes from one end to the other, and Loman spots up, and then they find him. So they ran that play twice, and both times. And then is it coming again? Here he goes again. He brings it. He's going to kick it out. He was looking for Loman again, but this time it's more in. But Loman does get the run, and he will be fouled. You see it there. You clearly see that offense that's run right there. That's a really, it's different, right? So Sam stays a little bit back. He runs that play. Tobias runs the play in, and then he kicks it out, and the ball has found its way to Loman a couple of times. And it just skips as we check out some replays here. And that's the one that's Calaco found Loman. That's the first one. And then the second one, I think that they're going to show the second one too. I'm not sure if they are or not. By the way, thanks again, Bird's Eye, for allowing us to do this one as well. So that's two Prep Zone casts here today with Bird's Eye. It's really, really good, really fun to do. And did they call down? I don't know if that's an and one or how do they. Yeah, it's an and one. Great bucket. They call on the floor, I think. Not sure. Yeah, it's an and one. So another great play by Tobias here as well. And Rutgers holding on a 27-point lead here with beginning of early here in this fourth quarter. And ball gets knocked away by Austin, but what do they call? I have no idea what that call was. I think it was pretty obvious that the Westhill player knocked the ball off Austin's hand. The only thing they could have called is that it touched Austin first before it went over there. Who knows? Either way, Westhill ball. Rutgers up by a lot at this point. 26. Oh. So it's 24, it's 22 now. It's 24-point lead. My bad. 24-point lead. Now it's a 22-point lead. They called that on the floor as Corrigan got positioned inside. He was just going to back his guy back up for the play, and then they stopped him ahead of that. Oh, another three by Clacko. Sam getting his points here in the second half. Like I said, it happens a lot. You probably finish with 10, 12, quiet 10, quiet 12 points if there's such a thing, but that's what you get from Clacko night in, night out. Nice play by Mason there. What did they call? Yeah, I think as Jack went up, they called a foul on Jack. But that was a very good play by Mason. We've seen that a couple times today as they go up and they kind of get that ball. They get defenders up in the air and then they scoop under it. So really, really good. And there was Jacob with the first free throw. And Jack Jacobs hit the second. He's 2 for 2 from the line. Now you see Jared Sale picking up the ball handler here. And that's another bucket in. What was it called? I think that 24-point lead by the Wreckers into about just under 5 minutes left in this game. So let's put a bow here on this night of basketball. We had the girls early. They were home against Westhill, and that game was never in doubt. They ended up winning by, I believe, close to 49 or 50 points or 48 points, some along those lines. A tremendous victory for them. Then you have the boys here closing out this game. They're going to improve to 18-0, 14-0 in the league. And we will have Monday night at the Junkyard at 7 p.m. A chance for the boys to finish the regular season undefeated. Listen, it's not going to be easy against Ridgefield. They are going to come to play. They're going to want to wreck the regular season here, no pun intended, to come in here and there's the Clacko 3, and they're going to want to come in here and they're going to say, put their stamp on this season that I think is going to be a very, very good season for the Wreckers. And if that's the case, they're going to want to come in and get that win. But I just don't see it. I see the Wreckers closing out this last 2 wins here, finish the regular season undefeated, and then running through the FCAC. And then it'll be about how far can you get in Division One, and can you get to play that final against likely, Notre Dame West Haven, which would be terrific, which would just be something very special. Coach Shore here in year 3. Really, year 1 made to that state final. I'm sorry, year 4, right? So he made the state final at division. He's vested for 3, just missed it. Year 1 made it to division. That was Division 2 state final. That was year 1 with the historic ward game. Then you had year 2, where the Wreckers lost the FCX final and lost in the first round. Then you had year 3, where you won the FCX, lost the second round, quarterfinal round of Division 1. And now you have year 4 here, where you can really try to repeat as FCX champions and make a deeper run here into Division 1 basketball. And you look at Division 1 and you're going to go up against teams that recruit, right? And you would think you'd be at a disadvantage, but if you can build a program, which is what Coach Goldshore and Coach Pick and all those guys in the Coach Griff, all the guys are doing here, Coach Black, and you'd get players who would maybe leave the Westport area to go play basketball somewhere else. They're going to want to stay and be a part of this, right? Because these are the kids they grew up playing with, and then now they can play competitive basketball and get a chance. And Sam Clack was part of it. I mean, he stayed at Staples all 4 years. We had him on the pregame, asked him any doubts and any regrets. He said none whatsoever for staying at Staples. And he's going to get to play at the next level, college, which is going to be special to watch that too. So can't wait for that. I think it's going to be really fun for him, for us to follow that and to just see as this program progresses. And one thing I'll say on air here, and it's, I'm sure it's in everybody's mind, is like, how long is David Goldshore going to stay a high school basketball coach? I just don't see that happening for so long. You saw what happened to Adam Behrens. He was here for a few years and got an opportunity to coach the next level, and you can't fault him for going. I would have gone. You would have gone. So Behrens did it. And I think if, Coach Goldshore here, if he repeats his FCX champion, if he takes his team into the state final, I just see, the next level of coaching for him, where he gets to do this for a full-time living pretty soon. So let's enjoy the ride. Like I said before, this is a really good season. These are great players, have a great coaching staff here, and we just want to make to enjoy this season, because I think it's going to be really special. And as Westhill gets on the bucket here to cut the lead down to 21. Under 2 minutes to go. Really good game by the Wreckers. Looking forward to seeing them again live on Monday. It seems like the last 3 games we just been watching them from afar, so can't wait to see the boys play again since the Trumbull game. And nice play by Higher there. Nice reverse layup to finish it off. And they didn't keep the team under 40, but they kept it. Played good defensive game. I think if you don't have all these fouls that they were called here in the second half, and I'm not saying this is the reason, but there are a lot of fouls that they were called. There was iffy fouls here in the second half that shouldn't have been, but. .22 lead, under 2 minutes left. Sale brings the ball up. As you see now, a complete second unit here for the Wreckers. Guys getting some good minutes towards the end of this game. And that's just missed that 3. That was Declan. And Westhill gets another bucket. And Declan Meyer has gotten some really good minutes, especially got in the tournament. He's been getting some minutes, so as a sophomore, he's going to be part of something that they do later on. And jump ball will remain Wrecker ball. And you got Ollie Weinrib getting in here as coach gets everyone some minutes here. Excellent. You're also seeing Declan Jandor is in as well. And a crowd favorite, Aaron Shore, too. And that was Ollie Weinreb getting a bucket. You see the bench that going crazy. Well done, Ollie. Great shot. Good, nice turnaround finish for him. You love to see that. And good defense by Ollie as well. Good defense to keep player off the. So the telecast going to end here pretty soon. So thanks so much for joining us. Great win by both boys and girls basketball team. Congrats, Coach Sparks. Congrats, Coach Shore. We'll be on site on Monday at the Junkyard as the boys close out their perfect regular season. But great effort, great night of basketball. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your Friday night, everyone. And go Wreckers.